I'm Adam.
I'm Dan.
And we're here to review Solo. Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to start this.
It's one of those things where, like, we have our thoughts, and we know what they are, and we're pretty confident in them. And then the internet happens. And we kind of addressed this in the Last Jedi review also. And so I guess I'll kind of address it here. What's wrong with you people? like, is there something, like, defective in you? Like, I don't want to harp on, I don't want to be mean, but, like, there is such this backlash of, like, you know, like, Solo hasn't done spectacularly well. Like, especially considering how much Star Wars movies cost to make, and the money that Disney pours into them, it hasn't been meeting expectations.
No, and the fact that they had to do basically reshoot like 70% of the movie doesn't help either.
Yeah, so like it hasn't been doing super well, and you know that's fair. Okay, like if people just don't like the movie and they don't want to see it, that's one thing. But the backlash is that people are saying Disney deserves this, not for Solo itself, not even just on the merits of the one movie, but because they hate The Last Jedi so much. They think it is such a terrible movie that this is Disney's penance, that they're going to lose money on this. And I can't wrap my head around what weird pseudo-crazy logic you people have.
Like I made a comment in the car just a little bit ago. Yeah. I said, these are the same fucking fanboys, and I know who these fanboys are because I was one of them. I still am. I'm a diehard fucking Star Wars fan. I remember sitting there with other friends and family members who were diehard Star Wars fans, about, say, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years ago maybe at this point.
Not that long, considering.
Just sitting around and just sitting there saying to ourselves, man, I wish that they make a Star Wars movie every year. Like, it all doesn't have to be Skywalker. Like, it could be little offshoot stories of this, even saying Solo at one point and all this stuff. And man, wouldn't that be great? And now we have it. And everyone's just bitching about it. And the thing is like, I can understand it if you just don't like this movie because you don't like it. But I know people who are Star Wars fans who are sitting there telling me I am a big fan of the original trilogy and I even like some of the prequels and like I was happy with Force Awakens, but like Last Jedi pissed me off. I know people who are diehard Star Wars fans who just refuse to go see this, either in a boycott like way or just like they're just like, I don't know, it just looks stupid. Like, it has so many production problems, like it's gonna be terrible. And they judge the movie without seeing it. And to me, it's like, if you're a Star Wars fan, then you need to go see it. You don't need to go see this movie exactly, but you need to give this movie a chance at least. You need to check it out, and you need to just sit down with no judgments and just kind of sit there and just ingest the film as it is. Because that's what we did. Granted, I'll say that we and you walked in there, we didn't really have high hopes for this movie or anything like that. It's not like we were even... I wouldn't say we were jazzed because it was a Star Wars movie.
Sure.
But we weren't like sitting there going, this is going to be the greatest thing in the world.
It definitely was not the same excitement as going to like The Last Jedi.
And like we sat down and I have to say that the movie was exactly kind of what I expected it to be.
Like more than any Star Wars movie I've ever seen, including Rogue One, this is like the definition of like popcorn entertainment. This is not the new classic. This is not, going to stand the test of time as like, this is going, future generations are not going to look at this the way we look at the original Star Wars movies. But this is a solid, what would you call it, like a heist movie?
A Western almost.
Space Western. Honestly, there's elements of it being a Western. Like, this is a solid kind of, just sci-fi action movie. And it's, and it's perfectly serviceable. Alden Ehrenreich is the person who plays Han Solo in this movie. To spoil this for you, I mean, Adam would know more than me, but I've seen my fair share of behind-the-scenes stuff. Some of your favorite actors who have won Oscars and done the most iconic acting in history had acting coaches for those movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a secret.
No, it's not. But, like, people, when they heard about that, they went and did this whole, like, oh, my God, he's so terrible, they had to bring an acting coach. And I was one of the few that's like, acting coaches are a common thing, like in movies, like in big budget films. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And for the most part, he does a fantastic job playing a young Han Solo. Now, granted, is he exactly like Han Solo that we know? No, but he shouldn't be because he's supposed to be younger.
He's a couple decades younger.
Yeah. So the whole idea is that, like, this is young Han Solo. He learns and he becomes that more hardened loner hero that we get to know later on.
I went in, just kind of, I don't know if skeptical is the right word, but, knowing that, it was someone who wasn't Harrison Ford and, the trappings of being a younger character, and then he's kind of a no-name. I've never heard of the guy before this movie.
He's played in things
I'm sure he's been in a couple things, but he's kind of a no-name. He's not a big-name actor. And, so I was a little bit skeptical, but I think it worked out. He worked out very well. I think he did a fine job. But I think it was actually better to go with a no-name, because then you're watching Han Solo, you're not watching this actor that you like.
Everyone says that Donald Glover as Lando is the best part of the movie. I'm not going to say they're wrong, because we see Donald Glover a lot lately.
Yeah,
and
Donald Glover is an upswing.
Yeah, and Donald Glover is a very talented individual, and I do like him. I'm a fan of his. Not a giant fan of his, like where I watch everything he's in, but I do like him.
Yeah.
When he was on the screen, like, I didn't see Donald Glover. I saw Lando Calrissian, and
he like you want to talk picture perfect. He was picture perfect.
He was picture perfect. Like, he was. It was basically like, as soon as you saw him, like, you realized, man, he was born to play this role. He really was, because he is exactly like Lando.
And then you get Woody Harrelson, who does a fine job in the movie and is very fun to watch. But he's just playing Woody Harrelson.
Like, it's not even that he's even playing Woody Harrelson. It's just his character. There's really not much to his character.
No, he's
to the point where, like, you could have got any person to play this.
They were clearly trying to make this like a more developed character that, like, you sympathize with and feel for, but then they didn't develop it well enough.
The action, I thought, was great. I thought all the action sequences were actually pretty good. Again, nothing, fucking...
groundbreaking.
Nothing groundbreaking, nothing fantastic.
Nothing of that, like, kind of, like open gasping level of like the scene in Last Jedi where they hyper jump and it destroys. Nothing that did impact you like that. But it was very fun. In fact, I remember we were talking and I said this was like, even though I know objectively Han and Chewie have to survive this movie, there were parts where, like, their lives are in danger and I was worried about it.
Yeah.
So they're very well done.
The action scenes are very good. We could sit there and talk. You want to get technical, sound and special effects were also pretty damn good. There's a lot of practical mixed with CGI, which was, to me, that's what you should be doing. So that was really nice. If you go into this movie expecting some kind of big epic story, it's not there.
No.
This is very much what we kind of said in the beginning. This is a Western in space. It's very much a Western, and like. It's not, I'm not gonna say it's a very simple story, but it's a story that just involves, like, hey, we need to go get this.
Yeah.
And while we get that, we need to evade these people, and these people, and we need to get here after we get this stuff. And then from there, like, we have the big, OK Corral scene or whatever, where we're gonna right off into the sunset sort of thing. And, like, yeah, when you're done watching the movie, I've heard people say, like, oh, this movie, like, to me seems more like a pilot to a solo television show rather than a movie. And to me, it's like, I wouldn't say that. It doesn't feel like a pilot to a television show, but it feels like the first movie in a planned franchise. Is what it feels like.
That, yeah.
Like, and for what that, like, for that specific thing, it does a very good job. It introduces the characters, sets you up the relationships, and then kind of introduces you to some new characters. Raises some questions that are left unanswered, but ones that, like, if we don't make any more movies, you can't, like, you can't sleep because they never answered them.
Right, yeah.
But the idea of, like, the questions that are left unanswered, I gladly welcome in a new movie if they make a sequel to it or another one,
Yeah, or even if it's not, like, a direct, like series, like, things that could come up in these other, like, Star Wars story movies, and, like, they're leaving the thread open, and then you can tie them together.
Yeah.
And, like, that could be fun. But as you said, if they don't, it's not really necessary either.
No, it's not. There is a character, I forget the character's name, but you see her in the trailers, it's Lando's droid.
Droid, yeah.
Droid sidekick, which I don't know the actress's name, but it sounds It sounds very much like Captain Phasma.
It really does.
It does, and I know it's not the same actress, but it's just weird because she sounds exactly like Captain Phasma.
It does. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, and so he has this droid, and here's the thing: is that this droid, when she first shows up, it's a female, and when she first shows up, she's kind of interesting and funny and kind of cool, but her shtick gets old. Yeah, gets old really fucking fast because it. And the weird thing about it is the fact that, like, it's not like I sat there and I thought to myself, like, it's not that she's really a bad character, but it's just they didn't write her very well.
No, that again, it comes down to the writing, and it comes down to the build-up partly, too. Because part of the thing of her shtick getting old fast is, like, they put too much focus on her too quickly and for too long.
Yeah.
And so we got sick of it. And then it does lead, actually, to one interesting... scene/concept, which I actually thought was like really cool, and it was neat that they were exploring it a little bit, and it's something that I actually wouldn't mind coming up again in the Star Wars universe.
Droid rights?
Yeah, droid rights, and like and like essentially the droid rebellion that she starts. Spoiler, but like it's cool that comes up.
Like,
but then again, like that was, but like before that scene, that was her whole shtick.
Yeah,
she just wouldn't shut up about it.
Like that was the thing. Like when she first like opened up about like droid rights and stuff like that. Like I sat there, I thought to myself, I never did think about droid rights. Why won't they serve their kind? You know, like stuff like that. I sat there, I was like, that's actually kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind if they kind of explored that. The only other big negative I have for the movie is that there's really no clear antagonist.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who are clearly not good.
Yeah, but they're not, like, we don't really get a whole lot of story behind them.
Yeah.
Like, the bad guy, who's the gangster, who's played by the guy who plays the Vision.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the movie, and he's, like, the big bad gangster that they're working for, and they gotta go do this stuff for. And, like, he literally shows up twice in the movie. Like, when he gives them the job.
Yeah.
And then at the very end.
Yeah.
That is it. The other bad guy, I guess you could say, for the movie is like the space pirates that I forget what their names are. Like they're the other bad guys, and they show up more than the main like villain, like the gangster or something. But they show up so randomly,
so suddenly, out of nowhere.
And then the worst part about it is like near the end in the climax of the movie, all of a sudden now we suddenly get to know who they are.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to act like we're expected to give a shit.
Yeah.
And in the end, I just sat there going like, I don't give a shit. I don't even care about Han. I just care about Han Solo. It's his movie. I don't care about these people. I don't care what they're going through. I don't care what they want. I don't care what they need. Please, for the love of God, just fucking shoot him in the face.
And that was like, and especially with that big reveal at the end, which I won't spoil. Not that it really matters, but I won't spoil it anyway. But like the big reveal was like that was the part where they're trying to tie it in with the greater Star Wars universe, and I don't care.
It wasn't
like, and that's someone who loves the Star Wars movies, but it was unnecessary. You didn't need to do it. Like I understand the stuff's going on in the background. It was referenced otherwise.
Yeah.
But like it's going on in the background. Like this stuff doesn't affect isn't supposed to affect Han until later in his life.
I do like Solo's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how he got his name.
Yeah.
I do like my favorite thing, which is like this isn't really a spoiler, but like my all-time favorite thing that I absolutely love this movie that I know probably a lot of people out there probably hate it, but I loved it, was when he went to go sign up for the Flight Academy. The advertised video on the front of the thing was actually playing the Imperial March, which I thought was amazing because I thought to myself, oh my God, the Imperial March really is the Imperial March. Like that makes sense. That is awesome. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the way him and Chewie met, which is like the big thing that you're building up to for like the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie. You're just waiting for that moment. I really liked. I know some people said they hated it, but I really liked it. It's cool to see the Millennium Falcon, pretty much like a newer version of it before it gets all, kind of old.
That was actually fun.
That was fun. The Kessel Run I thought was fine. I know a few people, I've seen some people complain about the Kessel Run, and I thought the Kessel Run was fine. And then the last thing I'll talk about that I liked in the movie was the play on Han shoots first.
Yes.
Which was amazing. The way they did that.
See, that was well done.
It was.
That's the thing. It's like that was actually built up and that I liked.
That I liked a lot, and I thought it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah. It was a fun time with noticeable flaws. You know, I mean, whether you're talking a movie buff or even a Star Wars buff to some extent, it wasn't like a perfect movie. But it was a fun time. It was solid. It was solid entertainment. It was, you know, it's what you go to the movies for, is to kill a couple hours and have some fun and forget about the world around you. And this movie is like the definition of that. And so I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
All right. I kind of agree with you in a way. I do think that this is actually a fun movie. I think it's a very fun movie. I think, you know, like I said kind of at the beginning of this, you know, if you are a fan of Star Wars, if you claim to be a fan of Star Wars, and you're one of the people who are like, I'm just boycotting this because I'm not happy with what Disney's doing and shit like that, you really need to go see this movie. You need to see this movie. You need to give it a fucking chance. If you don't like it, that's fine, but you need to see this film, because I really do think there's a lot of fun to be had. There's a lot of things I absolutely love about the movie. Like I said, I loved the portrayal of Han Solo. I loved Lando. I thought the action in the film was very good. It doesn't feel, when you're watching the movie, it definitely does not feel like an epic story, but to me, it's not necessarily a bad thing about this movie. It's actually kind of refreshing to see a Star Wars movie where it's like, it's not this big fucking epic battle. It's just kind of this one like little story on the side, and like that's what Star Wars story should be, you know. So I agree with you, but I'm actually I think I like it a little more than you, because I'm actually gonna give it a point higher. I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. Again, I don't think it's better than Rogue One. I still like Rogue One a lot better. It's definitely, to me, not as good as like Force Awakens or Last Jedi, but I still think it's a highly enjoyable film that I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you owe it to yourself to go check this out. You know, go form your own opinion on it. Don't sit there and listen to the fucking people on the internet who are giving their fucking opinion to haven't even seen the fucking movie. You know, go see this with your own eyes. You know, if you don't want to spend fucking full price, then fucking go to a matinee, go to a fucking discount day. You know,
the one last thing I guess I want to add is I will say it's probably a movie that does deserve to be seen on the big screen, because like you said, the action scenes are good, and they're big action scenes. You know,
and the
it's
Kessel
like big
one,
wide,
the Kessel
big wide
one
shots and like a lot of like, you know, big booming sounds and orchestral music. So like see it on the big screen if you get a chance.
All right, well, this went on long enough. So that's going to do it for this. So to recap, he gives Solo a 7. I give it an 8. We both definitely say check it out and go see it before it leaves the theaters, because we think it definitely benefits from a big screen experience. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to say please thumbs up the video if you like it. Please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more reviews. And please leave a comment and let us know what you guys thought of it. Okay, so that's going to do it for this review. And we are going to be back shortly with Action Point. Yeah.